Okay, so let's start with my end of the season awards because the season's actually ended. Uh, I'm not trying to throw shade at anyone who does these things. Throw shade at anyone who does these awards way before the season is over. But before I break down my season, son, come back, son. Before I break down these awards, everyone needs to understand that it's about the totality of the season. It's not about a late surge or a nice month or a nice stretch. It's literally about from the season start in October to today. Who was the best in this category? Okay, so this first video is going to be about uh, MVP. MVP. So we have Shavonte Gilgeous Alexander. We have Nikola Jokic. We have Luka Doncic. We have Jalen Brown. We have Cade Cunningham, and we have Victor Wembanyama. So my vote, if I had a vote, would go to SGA. And I don't really think a lot of explanation needs to go into why SGA is the MVP. But I'll go into it a little bit. Well, let's start with the fact that he shattered Wilt Chamberlain's 20-point streak record, as we all know. Now, hear me out. Listen to this very carefully. Listen. Wilt Chamberlain's 20-point streak, which was from eons ago, back in the dark ages. 126 consecutive games of 20 points or more. That's impressive. Regardless of the fact that Wilt Chamberlain was the tallest and strongest dude on the court. That's impressive. But Michael Jordan never even touched 100. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, they never touched 100. Allen Iverson, Shaq. So that's an impressive streak. But to do this in 2026, where it's the most talented the league has ever been, the most advanced types of players they've ever been, excuse any background noise that you hear, to do this when you're a 6'6" guard and every team is targeted on you to stop you every night. And every day you get closer to the streak, a team is trying to stop you from getting to that streak. But not only did he beat it, he shattered it. He's at 140. And it's going to continue into the next season. So he could really get to 200 plus. And what's crazy is it felt inevitable because he's so consistent. I know I clocked this since 2024 with SGA, how consistent he's been. Most superstars, they score 45 points in one game, and then the very next night they score 17. I look this up. It could be Luka. I'm not throwing shots. I'm just saying it could be Anthony Edwards, who's my second favorite player. It could be Jalen Brunson. It could be Donovan Mitchell. There's ebbs and flows in the game. We're not taking shots at superstars. I'm just saying the fact that this particular superstar in SGA, he doesn't have that. It go 31 tonight, 33 the next night, 45 the next night, 25 the next night, 30 the next night, 38 on 50% shooting. Brings me to my next point. This is his fourth straight season of averaging 30 points per game on 50% shooting, and he's shooting 55%. This is crazy. About 55% from the field, just under 40% from three, and about 90% from the free throw line. By the way, he's second in the NBA in free throw attempts per game. I just want you to know that. And he turns the ball over 2 times a game. So the most efficient season ever arguably from a player. And if you counter the 50, 40, 90, the 55% from the field, the fact that he takes less than 20 shots per game, and he's turning the ball over two times a game at his usage rate, while playing 33 minutes a game and still averaging 31 points per game. He leads the league in clutch scoring by far in terms of points per clutch, per the clutch minutes, and total clutch points, even though he sat out over 25 fourth quarters this season. That's MVP. When the game comes down to the line, and you have a guy who who's the best closer in the NBA, it's not really a conversation. So when you want to talk about Jokic and points, rebound, assists, it's cool. Now, that's why SJ is the MVP. Okay, he's the most consistent player. He's the most clutch player. He plays elite on both ends. He's an elite offensive player. On his worst day offensively, he's still giving you 20 points on 50% shooting. And also, he could score 30, 40 points without free throws. We've seen it. You can check the tape. I don't need to go argue with keyboard warriors. And then on top of that, during his 20-point streak, right? Here's where you really need to understand the purpose of sports. The purpose of the game is to win. When Wilt had his 20-point streak, his team went 66-60. And again, that was like 1962 or something. There's only like 8 teams in the league. Really playing against plumbers and mailmen. 66-60. Shea against 31 other teams in the most talented era against full-time athletic freaks. The Thunder went 103-23. Could check the number on that. That winning percentage is vastly different. Yep. Wilt's team is barely above 600, above 500, and Shea's his team is like what 80%, 85%. I don't know the number. You could calculate that, but I'm saying like that's MVP. There's not empty stats, and again, leading the league in clutch scoring, even though he's missed a third of the games he's played. A third of them he didn't play the fourth quarter, basically, right? Because he played like 68 games, so like a third of the games. So like think about that. If he wanted to stat pad, he'd definitely be running away with the scoring title again. But Luka can have that. Shout out to Luka. But yeah, that's why SGA's MVP, because that's value to clutch scoring, and the fact that the Thunder drop off. They're the 7th ranked offensive team in the league. They're the 2nd most injured team in the league. And still, they're the best record in the league. And then on top of that, his defense, top 10 ranked defender in the league. You know, and again, we saw in the playoffs, especially in the finals, he averaged 1.6 blocks per game in the finals, and he averaged 1.9 steals. So when he needs to be elite defensively, he can be. That matchup that happened earlier this year with the Spurs and the Thunder, SGA had 4 blocks, I believe, in the game, or 3 blocks. So it's not like he's overrated on defense. He's underrated. It's just that he's the only consistent offensive option on the team, especially with Jada being out the whole season. So he has to preserve his energy. The other guys who want to talk about who are defensive demons, they don't have the same offensive obligations. Out of all the number 1 scorers on their teams in the NBA, all the number 1 scoring options, SGA is the best defender. Argue with the wall. Giannis doesn't count because he hasn't been playing this season. But outside of Giannis Antetokounmpo, tell me a player who's better. Tell me number 1 scoring option who's better. Tell me the number 1 scoring option who's better at defense than Shea. You can't. So that's why SGA is the MVP. This video went a little bit longer. There's so many more reasons why you could go into why he's the MVP. But I went through the advanced stats. It's really not a conversation. He should be running away with the award, as I predict he will. So he's the MVP. I'll make short videos right now why Jokic is not, why Luka is not, why Wemby's not, why Cade is not, why Jaylen Brown is not. I'll go through that in these next clips. But once again, SGA is the MVP, rightfully so. Gonna go back to back.